What is up, everyone? This is me, Prasanna Balakrishnan, back again. This time for the live preview. Indian Super League is back, and so are the fans. Not in the stadium, of course, but at least supporting their individual team colors. It's me, Prasanna, here supporting Chennai FC, and I've got a very good friend supporting Hyderabad FC, Manish Singh from the Deccan Legion. So Chennai versus Hyderabad FC, obviously on Tuesday, 23rd November. But before we get to that, we have to obviously start to pay tribute to legend of Indian football, Novi Kapadia ji, who unfortunately passed away. And he has been such a brilliant ambassador for Indian football in general. His commentary and all is second to none. And it's just been brilliant seeing him, hearing his stories over the past few years. You all notice. If you're an Indian football fan, you will definitely know who Novi Kapadia ji is, and may his soul rest in peace. And hopefully, we can get another Novi Kapadia soon. But let's wait and see how that happens. So, just on a quick start, Manish Garu, allow now.
Nen Bhavana, thanks for having me on the show today. It feels great that I'm finally on a football podcast with you, and should be a good conversation.
Yeah, man. It's always nice talking to fellow fans about the sport you love. You will have different opinions, different views on games, but it's always fun to see. Before you go into this, make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification to get notifications whenever I go live like this or upload videos. Currently sat at 238. The road to 10K, as I said, has started here. It will be slow. It will take a lot of time, but I'm sure we'll reach there one day. And Hyderabad FC, it's been 2 years. This is their third year in the ISL. First year, obviously, they didn't do well. They won only 2 games. They finished 10th. But the second season, they did well. They just finished 2 points of qualification for the playoffs, 2 points of fourth spot. And this is their third season, and they have gotten good players. They have got a good Indian squad, and they have also got. Let me just share the squad with you all so you all can see. As we can see here, the squad is there. Obviously, starting with the goalkeepers, we have Gurmeet Singh, Jongtail, Katimani, who otherwise we all call as Lord Katimani because he loves to let in goals. And their defenders, Akash Mishra is there, Ashish Rai, Chinglan Sana Singh, Juanan, obviously they acquired from from Bengaluru FC. They have got Nikhil Prabhu, Nimdorji, Preetham Singh. Midfielders of Aniket Jadhav, Edu Garcia, who they got from ATK Mon Magan. They've got Helichar Nazari, they got Hitesh, they got Joao Victor, who is their captain, who they have retained. And other good players are there. Kenezi is there, they're number 7. Bartok Beche, who they have got from Mumbai City FC, who's always a thorn in Chennai NFC's side. He always scores against us. So the fact that I think he will definitely score against us is just another thing. And obviously they have Ronnie Dano and the head coach Manuel Marquez. So what have you made of Hyderabad FC in this past 2 years? The journey from start to finish. Oh, what have you made of it?
Well, the very first season, of course, was quite disappointing. But since Manolo Marquez took charge, we don't call him Manuel Marquez, we call him Manolo Marquez because he's one of us, like they say in Telugu. So there's been lots of changes when it comes to the squad as well of our team. This time around, we have many new promising names from some champion sides, but the man in charge is the same. The vision of the club is the same. So we have vested a lot of faith in Marquez and his vision for this club. And last time around, it was really unfortunate that it was FC Goa both times which ruined our plans of reaching the playoffs. It could have been a dream run from ending at the bottom of the table to making it to the playoffs the very next season. So this time around, with the addition of Edu Garcia and Bartok Beche, both of whom come from 2 great sides, ATK Mohun Bagan and Mumbai City FC respectively, I think there are going to be a few changes in the way we play. because of the fact that last time around we had two robust strikers up front in the form of Aridane Santana, who was our captain, of course, and he led the team brilliantly. And there was one certain name, Fran Sandaza, who I felt was really underrated because he did not used to make it to the 11 often, but whenever he came on, he used to make an immediate impact.
Always get
So
a job.
Aridane and Fran Sandaza, these two guys used to dig deep in our midfield as well and create pockets of spaces for our potent goal scorers to do the job at the end. So I have to see how the likes of Bart Ogbeche and Edu Garcia, who I think is going to play the number 10 role, are going to fit into the Marquez style of playing. But of course, our defense is quite solid, and hopefully, moving forward, we should maintain that with the addition of Yuana now, of course, to our team as well. So it's been a dream run the previous season, and hopefully, we can do one better this time and go to the playoffs and carry that momentum forward.
And obviously, given this ISL, two games have happened. ATK Monagan, they beat Kerala Blasters 4-2 in that first game. Bangalore FC beat Northeast United in the same scoreline, 4-2 as well. Today, East Bengal take on Jamshedpur, and the games, they do come thick and fast. But we wait to see how the teams go out and then perform. Obviously, Chennai FC also have a new coach, Shabalazar last season. Last season, I mean, compared to the season before where we would score goals for fun, we would always look to outscore the opposition. Last year, we couldn't buy a goal to save our lives. I mean, we would have so many chances. We missed them. I mean, it was only towards the end of the season that we scored three against Northeast United. We scored two against Goa, and it was a 1-1 draw against Kerala Blasters. It was only towards the end of the season that things were working, but the management, I think it was just a mutual agreement. Like Chablas decided in like 6-month contract, and then we got in Bosko Bandovic from Montenegro. There were so many names. I don't know for how Chennai FC scouting works, but they recognize players and coaches from various parts of the world. So if in school you don't learn geography, you learn geography through Chennai FC. That's what I have kind of come to terms with. But again, even Chennai FC, the season before, we first four games we ended up goal. We didn't score any despite having loads of chances, and after that, we were only the third highest goal scorers behind in that season behind FC Goa and ATK Mohan Bagan. Or it was ATK back then, but we all know how FC Goa under Sergio Lovera was scoring for fun. Even if you score two or three, they would definitely score at least three or four, and they would always outscore you. We were also trying to do that. We just came up short in the final despite having so many chances against JTK, losing 3-1. And last season, we were the lowest goal scorers in the league, but I think we were the second highest in chances created. So something does not add up there, and part of the reason is Valskis left, and we got in Jacob Sylvester. Shembri obviously retired. We got in Isma Gonzalez. We saw Rahim Ali break into the team, and we saw him scoring two goals. So this time again, only Rafa Carvalho is the only foreigner that stays. The other players have changed. And in Hyderabad, we see three foreigners who have come with experience in the ISL, whereas in Chennai FC, we don't see that. We have to see how that comes through. So, as you said, Manolo Marquez. So, what formation does he like to stick with? One formation, or is he flexible with formations?
Well, just to add to what you said about Chennaiyin, I would like to say we all know what happened when last time around in 2020, a certain team from Chennai ended up 8th on the points table. The very next season, they ended up winning the championship. So we
Seventh.
No, I'm talking about CSK, Chennai Super Kings.
Yeah, they were 7th.
So the last time around, a team from Chennai ended up at the bottom of the table. We all know what happened. The next season, they came out to be champions. So I think the same can happen with Chennaiyin FC. They've got great potential in their squad this time around as well. And speaking of Marquez, well, he is flexible with formations. He often plays 4-2-2, but he always believes in his usual 4-3-3 with Aridane, who used to play false nine previous season, with both the wings dinging in the center, coming short. So I think this time around, with the players that we have, Edu Garcia and Bart Ogbeche have come in. So Edu Garcia, of course, is going to play that number 10 role. So I think it's going to be a 1-3-2-4 sort of formation with Bartok Beche playing up front and finishing most chances with the likes of Mohammad Yasser, Edu Garcia, and Halicharan Nacharai forming the three attacking midfield trio in the center. So that alongside, of course, Jao Victor and Hitesh Sharma, who play the pivot often, are going to be our defensive midfielders. So we have to see what Manolo Marquez does because there has been a change in personnel this time around. So let's see how the players adapt to it moving forward.
There are so many options there. There's this thing called spoiled for choice, and you do need to have backups in case injury happens. God forbid, you don't want injuries to happen to anyone, but you never know. And obviously, Chennai and Hyderabad head to head. They have played 4 games. The season, 2 seasons before, Chennai beat them twice. The season before, Hyderabad beat them twice. So it's 2-2 now. It's pretty even now, and obviously we did not get to see the preseason games on. I don't think any of them were televised or even broadcasted. So we just know by the results. Chennai have had they beat Bengaluru once, they lost to them once. We led against Kerala, but they came back and won. And so it's the kind of mixed bag of results. So we don't know what to expect from the team. It's only in the first, I would say, 5 or 6 games where you can truly judge a team based on what they put out on the field, because the first 2 games will probably be about the coach trying to implement his ideas, see what works, see what doesn't work, put certain players in, um, try to say use the team from last year to see if the same thing works, because generally that's what new coaches do. They try to give chances to everyone, see what works, see who's good enough for a system, see who's not good enough for a system, and then shift them accordingly. So on that note, let us try to fix our playing 11. So I will do. Before that, I'll speak a bit about Chennai FC. Obviously, we also have changes, and the Indian contingent has remained a bit of say it's a bit fixed, because we still have got players like Anirudh Thapa, we still have Javanpreet Singh, we have Edmondson Evanspal, we have Vishal Kate, we have Regan Singh. So let me just get that up for you. Obviously, we see Chennai NFC there. Um, the goal the goalkeepers. I still think number one is Vishal Kate. There is no changing that. We have got Devjit Majumdar in, is in a very experienced goalkeeper, and he will add a lot of value to the squad. Defenders, we have got in Deepak Devrani in from Gokulam Kerala, who are of course the I-League winners last season. We have Davinder Singh, who was picked up from Punjab. We obviously have Jerry, we have Regan Singh, we have Narayan Das, who we picked up from East Bengal. Salam Ranjan, who also picked from East Bengal. We have Slako Damjanovic, who's from Serbia. Midfielders, we have Anirudh Thapa, we have Edmondson Evanspal here, Jamanpreet Singh. Edmondson Evanspal, he had a great 2019-20 season. First under Gregory and then under Owen Coyle, he was doing bits. But last season, I don't know why, he kind of fell out of favor because Deepak Tangri was making the run in. And Deepak Tangri did have a few good games, but towards the end, I felt he kind of started to, I won't say drop off heavily, but it was kind of, the inexperience kind of showed in those games where you need to step up. And Changte, I feel this is a massive season for him. He has the pace, he creates so many chances, but yet he doesn't score. Towards the end, his numbers are super crazy. Hopefully, this time that changes. He has to score. He's obviously an international player, so he doesn't need any intro whatsoever. You're there on the team. You have your pace, but how much can you use that pace to good effect will be seen by everyone. And we have got Ariel from Poland. We have Nintoy Mite. We have Midland, who is our Asian player from Kyrgyz Republic. We obviously have Krivalaro, who is our only recurring foreigner from last year. We have Syed Sohail Pasha, who is our assistant coach, Sabir Pasha's son. He also scored in preseason as well. He did well for Chennai City FC, so it'll be good to see how he integrates into the squad. And we have Koman again, who is from Poland. Strikers, we got Joby Justin, we have Lucas, we have Rahim Ali, who I think this will be a massive season for him. And let us try to put out our playing 11, and I'll try to get this one up. We, you will do for Hyderabad FC first, and then we'll do for Chennai. So what formation are you looking at for Hyderabad FC? And yeah, so what kind of formation are you looking at?
Well, I think it will be a 4-2-3-1 formation with Bart Ogbeche playing at the top. And of course,
Okay,
our ever
let us
reliable.
go through one by one. So let us start with the
Yeah, yeah.
keeper. Let us start one by one. So yeah, go for it.
Well, between the sticks, of course, Lakshmikant Kattimani, ever so reliable, and Lord Kattimani, as you called him at the beginning. So hopefully he'll be doing the job for us between the sticks. And our
Okay,
back
so
line has
this is
been,
left to right. So from left back, two centre backs and the right back. Yeah,
well, at left back, of course, we'll have Akash Mishra, very hardworking defender, and can make some fantastic runs overlapping and helping our attack as well. And both our centre backs will consist of Juanan and Chinglan Sana Singh. Both these are pretty strong defenders who will sort of make sure that we form a very strong partnership at the back. Last time around, of course, we had Uday
yeah,
alongside Sana Singh, but now we have got Joannan, who is a very great replacement, I would say. And of course, at right back, Ashish Rai again. Both Akash Mishra and Ashish Rai, I believe, were the biggest revelations in the Indian Super League last
yeah.
time
They
around.
have been
The
superb. They
way
have been
they
super,
played.
absolutely superb.
Yeah, the way they played was just fantastic, and that is what earned them a national call up as well. And it'll be great to see them both go at the wings for us this time around as well,
Yeah,
as a part of our back line. Next up, the two pivots or the defensive midfielders, as we would call them. Hitesh Sharma, I think, is going to make the cut above anyone else because he is also a very, very strong player, a very hard-working player with a great work rate. He can often make those great runs, defend and intercept balls, and also make recoveries whenever needed. And alongside him, our captain for the season, Joao Victor, who is often who often makes sure that he digs in between defenders and not gives away much when the attack is on from the other end. And speaking of our attacking midfield options, Edu Garcia, I think, will of course be our number 10, because I think it is important that there is one player who sort of links our midfield with Bartok Beche up front, or our forwards who will just come short and try finishing our chances. So Edu Garcia, I feel, is going to be one key aspect of how Manolo Marquez is going to deploy his team this time around. I think it will be around these two names, Edu Garcia and Bartok Beche up front. And on the wings, of course, I think Halicharan Nacharai, his inclusion is a no-brainer, and
easy. Yeah,
uh, yeah, and the last name, I believe, it can be a mix-up between either Mohammad Yasir, or even Joel Chienese for that matter. Joel was going great for us last time around, and I think he scored against Chennai in one of the game as well
yeah,
in Goa. So I think it can be either Joel Chienese or Mohammad Yasir. Mohammad Yasir has been a revelation in the Hero ISL last time around as well because of how good he has played for Hyderabad FC. So, yes, I think that's about it. And it looks to be a good team. Hopefully, we can put on a good show against Chennai.
yeah. And obviously, the new changes this season have been the four foreigners rule. Not exactly the 3+1, but you need to have four foreigners in the 11. So
Yes.
going by that, I would probably say Ogbeche, Edu Garcia, and Joao Victor are fixed. Probably you can say even Duanan is fixed, but I would probably say here you maybe go for Yasser, or depending on what Marquez wants, he will shift accordingly. Because you just need four foreigners this season, not the five which we had till last
Oh,
season. So it's nice. I mean, it's a bit late, I know, but at least in the last few years, we haven't been performing in AFC competitions, at least in the club level. So to do that, you need to have a very strong Indian core and not just depend on your foreigners. So, and I think that is what is needed. So I think for foreigners is a good change. Albeit I would have liked it if we had incorporated the 3+1. But I think next season that is what they will do, and hopefully we can see us doing better in AFC competitions starting next year. So as per Chennai NFC, goalkeeper, no question, Vishal Kate. One of our brilliant shot stoppers. He has been brilliant for us ever since he's been here. No question marks about him, and um, he is our number one in goal. Left back, I am going very Ladenjwala. Ever since 2016, he has only been on a one-way trajectory. He's been superb. He has got good competition in Narayandas, who is a competent left back himself. So I think he'll be. I wouldn't mind even Narayandas even starting because I still think he's good enough. But Jerry would make the fit because he's been playing for so long, and I would like to see him continue the way it is and see him be a great left back for India. In the middle of defense, I would have the Serbian Damjanovic. Hopefully, I pronounced his name right. And the other defender, I would have it would be a toss up between Deepak Devrani and Salaman Singh because I think we would have one Indian defender and one foreign defender. I think that would be good to see because Indian football team is actually lacking defenders. So we genuine and all the teams. I don't know why they have just like the addiction of either a striker or the two defenders should be foreigners. We have done that for a long time, and it might be good for the club, but for the Indian national team, it doesn't benefit one bit because not many players like that are coming out. We do need a Sunil Chetri. We need a Baichang Bhutia. For that, we need to go ahead with Indian striker. Sunil Chetri is not going to go for long, and we need Indians in that position. So I think one foreign defender would make sense, and obviously right back again a no-brainer. It's Regan Singh. Last season he came in, he was super. He played well. There were times when he was caught off the pace, but when he went forward, he looked a threat, and he can cross the ball as well. So he's a very good right back. We can also play Edwin Sini in that position, but Regan Singh seems to fit the bill for me. And of course, in the midfield too, one name has to be Anirudh Thapa. He has just been amazing since he has been in Chennai FC. Last season, unfortunately, he had an injury, so he couldn't get much game time. But the season before that, he was outstanding, and he is, and he had to know that he's still young. He's still 23, and he has so much experience with them. Should only go well for him. That he is going to carry this. He is one of the futures of the Indian team alongside Jerry, and so he's along, and even Changte as well. You have to remember they're still below 24, 23. So they are going to be the pillars for Indian football team, and they are going to carry the team forward. In the other defensive midfield position, it is a tough one because I can think of sticking up Edwin Sini Vanspal in that, but since he's here, I would put in Ariel Borushuk from Poland. It would be either him or probably even Vladimir Koman, the backup in that position. But Edwin is going to have to earn his position. I don't know what he has done to not get this, but I think if Owen Coyle had stayed last season, Edwin would have still got more game time because he was absolutely doing bits in the 2019-20 season. He's been absolutely superb, but he's going to have his task cut out here. And obviously, in the front three, on the left-hand side, there is absolutely no doubts. Lalingzola Chante is playing there. We all know what a threat he is. He has that pace to get away from defenders. He can also track back. But the one thing in him is scoring goals. He needs to score more goals. He needs to put the ball in the back of the net more times. He gets into positions, and sometimes he either takes a touch too long or he makes the wrong decision. Last year, that's what we saw from him many a time. And that's how we lost on many of the goals. Goals win you games. And without scoring, you're not going to win a game. So that is one thing that he needs to work upon. Otherwise, I've got no problems with him. And then the number 10, Rafael Cavallaro. He has also been superb ever since he's come in. The season before, he was absolutely brilliant along with Vasquez and Shembri. Last season, till he was there, he was good until he got injured against ATK Mohan Bagan, and he was ruled out of the season. And we couldn't find Lanzarote till very when Lanzarote came in, it was pretty late, so we couldn't get things going. I feel Crivellaro, um, he is the what do you say? He is the engine to our midfield. He's gonna provide you the assist. He's not the quickest. He doesn't have the great pace, but he certainly does have the skill to hurt opposition. And Crivellaro does have the number 10. And in the wing position, I'm gonna go with the Kyrgyz Republic right winger Midland. I think he will definitely play there. He has pace. He has the pace to take, and he's a good winger as well. We have seen him in previous clubs. He's had a good record. And up front, I would definitely go with Rahim Ali. One to obviously fit the foreigners rule because we've already had 4 foreigners here, and another one because I think this will probably be a breakout season for him if he plays down the middle. Strikers are best when they're played down the middle, in my opinion. If you shift them onto the wing or you play them in any other position, they're not going to do as much as what they are going to do. That's what the problem we saw last season. We saw Isma playing up front and Rahim Ali put on the wing. Rahim Ali on in the striker's position, he scored 2 goals in 2 games, and then he was shifted out to the right wing, which made absolute zero sense. So, and Isma didn't do much as well. The only times he scored were those were on opposition mistakes or on penalties. So I think Rahim Ali will go back to the striker's position, and this would be a big, massive breakout season for him. So that is my 1 to 11. Manisana, what do you actually make of this 11?
I think it's a great side, and you can never really underestimate a champion team like Chennaiyin. And there's obviously a change in the manager this time around, so looking forward to seeing how they play. And the home advantage, of course, at the Balyogi Athletic Stadium in Gachibowli should give Hyderabad FC the advantage, but Chennaiyin FC will be raring to go. They will be ready to
Why the games
give
are
it
in
their
Goa, by the
best
way?
at the very beginning of the season.
The
I'm
games are
sorry.
in Goa, by the way.
No. I think this game is in Hyderabad, in the Balyogi Stadium. If
No,
I'm
all
not,
teams are in Goa. Hey, ఏం
are they?
చేస్తున్నావురా?
Oh, okay. Then
అన్ని టీమ్స్ గోవాలో
I think I've
ఉన్నాయి.
made a mistake. Avuna. Okay.
Yeah, all teams are in Goa, same
Done.
bio bubble as last time. So I was thinking when did I
Oh
see
no.
Hyderabad? I was like, duh.
Oh no.
All teams
I
are in
saw
Goa. All
somewhere.
teams are in a bio bubble. Like last time, no crowds. I mean, they're allowing crowds in cricket, but they can't allow for football. I don't know why. But I think this was probably
Uh,
set in place 2 months ago, 2 or 3 months ago. So I think probably once it gets to
mhm.
the playoffs or the final, I think crowds should be allowed by then. But we have to wait and see what that happens. This has been a great preview. Half an hour has gone just like that, and we can go on for another hour. But yeah, it is what it is. Obviously, I'll be doing a live review after the game as well with Manish himself. Um, do keep your eyes peeled out for that. Thanks to everyone who has watched. Obviously, if you know this channel, consider liking this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification to get notifications whenever I have uploaded a new video or go live like this. I will be doing plenty of Chennai FC games for this. I will be doing live previews and reviews, hopefully with guests from other teams, because it's always great to have an opposition perspective on how the game is going as well. And actually, now at this point in time, the Indian New Zealand game is going on. And India have made a superb start, 54 for no loss of 5.2 overs. And both Rohit Sharma and Ishan Kishan are going all guns blazing. And Rohit Sharma I would call it his homegrown Eden Gardens, because that's where he has scored the bulk of his runs. But that's another topic for another day. And thanks, Manish Bhai, for joining this one. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much, Anna. Thanks for having me, and hopefully we have a great game on the 23rd.
And yes, the game is on the 23rd of November. Let me just see the fixture list where the game will be. It's obviously will be in 3 stadiums. One is at obviously the Fatoda Stadium in Goa, and our game is at the Athletic Stadium in Bambolim, where Chennai had their home base last year, but this season it's a bit different. They have their home base at another ground. I think it's at the Tilak. I think it's at Tilak Maidan. I'm not exactly sure, but we wait to see how that goes. Once again, thank you to everyone for joining. And as I keep saying
It's
at the
in
end of
it's
every
in
video, we're still in the middle of a pandemic. So stay safe and wash them hands. Thanks, Manish Bhai. See you again soon.